there was a grocery store chain that was attempting to open up a new location in Seattle on Aurora Avenue North. It was going to be in the location of a former Sam's Club, which shut down for whatever reasons. Probably some pandemic related, probably some.
Yeah, that's about the time we lost it. Yeah,
vandalization. And
the deterioration of that site.
Yes.
Once it sat empty for an extended period of time.
Well,
we're talking about the impact of the community and why Sam's Club went away.
Why they closed to begin with.
Okay.
But once it's closed, obviously, it's a hole.
Nature abhors a vacuum, and everything moved in.
100%.
So kind of what happened downtown when the city shut down for COVID. To your point.
So good news. WinCo files plans to remodel the building because obviously, every grocery store that you go into, if it is a chain grocery store, all the Safeways kind of look alike. All the Fred Meyers kind of look alike. You go into a Whole Foods, you can pretty much find cereal in whatever Whole Foods you go into because you know where cereal is at in Whole Foods.
Yeah.
So they wanted to remodel Sam's Club so it would fit their layout plan for what a WinCo is. So they file plans with the city to do so. The city then comes in and conducts a state environmental policy act process, and they say, hey, there's no significant environmental impact damage that you guys are going to be doing. Approved. Great job. Move on in. Do your remodel, and then we're excited to have, because we've talked about this many times, grocery stores are becoming less and less prevalent in this area, which makes it harder for people in areas that they then call food deserts to find options.
Well, also on the heel of the former Attorney General, now the Governor of Washington, stopping the merger between two of our largest grocery chains.
Yep.
And they're claiming that, hey, look, if we can't merge and be competitive with these superbox stores like a Costco, like Amazon, then we're going to have to close some stores. And you're going to have some loss of opportunity in these communities.
Bob Ferguson got that antitrusted, shut it down.
And it seems like he's got it completely wrong.
Yep.
And the fallout of his decision and the fight that he won in court to keep the merger from happening. That being said, we have WinCo.
As a result, all of those Krogers and Fred Meyers, they started shutting down.
Yeah, you're losing Albertsons, you're losing Fred Meyers.
Now that's an interesting part of the story because when those things were shutting down, you have local grocery store union reps being very loud about the dangers of losing grocery stores in this area. Specifically, there was one in Everett that was going to shut down.
Sure.
It did shut down. There was another one in Seattle. There was all these different spots. And you have this very large local union, which represents grocery store employees, very vocal about saying, like, hey, we want to make sure that people have places to shop so they don't get priced out and have it to travel, yada, 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 whatever. They're being strangely silent on this one. They're not talking a lot about the WinCo not being able to go in and not having an option there for people on Aurora Avenue North.
You mean the grocery union folks are?
The grocery union folks,
okay.
Which I find curious because they've been very loud anytime anything else if your business is grocery stores, right?
Yeah.
Then you think that a new grocery store coming in, options for people to shop, is a good thing. Now, the thing that's different here is WinCo is not a unionized shop. And WinCo, my theory is WinCo's avoiding a big problem and probably dodged a bullet by not getting into the Seattle location.
Well, it's not a done deal now.
It's not a done deal. It's still possible they might get in, but I would caution them that what they're seeing in this moment before they even start building is what they can expect from Seattle for the rest of their time in Seattle. Look at all the other businesses that have been chased out. Bad for businesses, high taxes, not very friendly to people who want to come in here and risk a lot to try to make some money. They don't clean up the streets, all these different things. And I'm worried that if WinCo, it's like you see a friend get involved with somebody who's not good enough for him.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen it many times.
And you kind of debate to yourself. You're like, should I even say anything?
Right. Wouldn't a friend tell him the truth?
Yes. Wouldn't a friend
care about him.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The person they're trying to date might be stepping out on them, yada, yada. You want to make sure that they're happy, making the right long-term choices.
Reputation. He's got a bad reputation.
100%.
Yeah, he's not a good partner.
Doesn't treat you well.
Right.
Doesn't treat you well, or she doesn't treat you well, whatever.
WinCo's, by the way, I mentioned there's one just up in Evans, just north of the city line in Seattle there, in the South Evans area.
Yep.
But they're in Tacoma, Federal Way, Everett, Silverdale, Bremerton, Kent.
Yep.
You know, they're around, and they're around.
They're a Pacific Northwest originated chain.
Idaho, I believe, right, is where their origin is. Okay.
So I want to tell you,
I didn't realize they're employee owned.
Here's a cool thing about WinCo, and I did not know this either, but this is fascinating. WinCo is employee owned. They have something called the ESOP system, which is Employee Stock ownership plan. So WinCo was started by a guy way back in the 1960s, two guys, Ralph Ward and Bud Williams. When Ward passed away, the company transitioned to employee ownership. So then you have all these employees, and WinCo is now owned by 20,000 employees. It's not traded on the stock market. They're not beholden to people trying to hedge funds squeezing extra money out of the stocks.
Right.
So WinCo is owned by the employees, and WinCo is featured all the time as a success story for people who start at WinCo and they end up fabulously wealthy working at a grocery store. Now, you tell me, when you think of grocery store workers, do you think of millionaires?
No.
Commonplace at WinCo, believe it or not.
Wow.
Which is what makes the store so amazing. I'm going to give you a little bit of this. I got some audio here I want to play for you, but I just want to give you a little bit of details on WinCo, which is so cool. WinCo, let's see here. They have the employee stock ownership program. Listen to these numbers. In 2014, 130 workers at a single store in Corvallis, Oregon, had a combined $100 million in ownership wealth across the company. 130 employees, 130 million in wealth.
Holy crap.
130 employees, 100 million in wealth. There are 400 frontline employees who are described as millionaire grocery clerks. And the reason is that when you start with the company, you get a little bit of ownership. And over time, however long it is, that compounds and it gets more and more and more.
$5,000 in stock each year is contributed from the company into your account if you're an employee.
I have shopped at a WinCo before, but it's not part of my regular shopping.
Sure.
But one of the things that maybe is a misconception is that they have bad products. It's not a good place to get stuff. That's apparently not the case.
That's not what I found. It's no frills. It's not bad stuff. It's not dated stuff.
It's good stuff. It's not packaged like a Whole Foods. Whole Foods is a nice experience.
No, you walk up to 20,000 packs of bacon.
This feels like
cooler.
a Costco. You're shopping at Costco.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Yes, it's almost like a storeroom. You're shopping in a storeroom.
Which makes the moving into the Sam's Club venue seem perfect. Absolutely perfect. But this organization, this Lake Washington Working Families.
They said because of an environmental reason, they're worried about this is going to greatly affect.
They compared what would the new WinCo be compared to the old Sam's Club, and it wouldn't be much of a change. They said you got to compare it to what sat empty for 5 years. That's the change they want to make.
We got used to a vacant store. How's it going to be the same?
But more importantly, there's evidence that the local grocers workers union, right, the UFCW 3000, they've got a history of being anti-WinCo.